The CBN just announced that they'll be releasing some guidelines on the e-Naira, aka Nigeria's digital currency. And in this video, that's what we'll be discussing. If you've been online at all in any moment and you of course live in Nigeria, or maybe you are Nigerian, well, you definitely would have seen something about this e-Naira, and this should concern you. So why is it being launched and what should you do about it? This is the video to watch. In this video, I'll explore what the e-Naira is and is not, what you should know about it, and what the effects might actually be for you and every single Nigerian, both positive effects and negative effects. It's kind of a big deal. If you're new to the channel, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. I'd love it if you could hit that like button so more people can get to see, the value that we're sharing here in this video, and you will definitely be helping someone out, when you hit that like button. Welcome to another Finance Friday video in this series, and this episode is brought to you by Vault. Find out how you can be one of 5 people who gets 10,000 Naira cash for free when you watch all through this video until the end. Without further ado, let's get to it. So first off, what is even the e-Naira and what is the e-Naira not? The e-Naira is simply Nigeria's digital currency. It's the Naira, but digital, as simple as that. It's not a cryptocurrency, but it uses technology for digital currencies from a company called Bit Inc. It's also called a CBDC, which means central bank digital currency. Everyone who lives in Nigeria will surely have to spend Naira to access basic goods and services. It's the same way everyone in the US has to spend dollars, the same way British people have to spend pounds, and Ghanaians have to spend cedis. By the way, Ghana is also creating its own digital currency. I didn't know until I started researching for this video. So yeah, there you have it. The e-Naira is set to launch in October, the 1st of October, and that day is also the day of independence for Nigeria. So it just made sense that they would, embark on this project. That would be really interesting to see though. What do you guys think? Launching the currency on Independence Day? Leave a comment below. In May, I made a video about the e-Naira, or Nigeria's digital currency, coming soon. You see, just 2 months before I made that video in May, or in February of 2021, CBN stopped a major link in cryptocurrency, which is banks. It had the effect of banning cryptocurrency because, of course, in the multiple circulars, Nigeria did not regard cryptocurrency as money, and they said that banks must not touch cryptocurrency or enable it in any way, shape, or form. Like I said, 2 months later, the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, the CBN governor, mentioned that Nigeria will be considering its own digital currency. At the height of this crypto ban, Nigeria was like the second in the world with regards to volumes of cryptocurrency being traded on Paxos platform. It showed that the parallel market was and is sort of still very strong and present in Nigeria. And there was a lot that was putting pressure on the value of the Naira currency. Basically, one major way Nigeria earns foreign exchange apart from oil is remittances, people spending in dollars, pounds, and such into Nigeria. With Bitcoin, you won't be able to control who's sending what in and out of the country, and if it took over, it could render financial institutions somewhat less useful. However, I don't see that happening anytime soon, as they would definitely have to work hand in hand the way they currently are now, but we never know. We are also facing a major dilemma on the exchange rate front. A lot of the Financial Friday videos have covered this in depth, and at this point, we have hit a 530 Naira to $1 all-time high. One of the reasons we couldn't get a $1.5 billion loan in Nigeria from the World Bank in June of 2021 was because of our exchange rate system. You see, there are 2 kinds as far as I know. I know the fixed and floating exchange rate system. Nigeria operates on a fixed exchange rate system that also has a parallel market. What this means is that the fixed rate is the official rate. Right now it's 411 and the parallel rate is 530. As at the time of making this video. The World Bank linked the loan approval to Nigeria having a predictable exchange management system. In contrast to this, a floating exchange rate is one that is determined by demand and supply, and many experts think that 500 Naira to $1 range is closer than 411 for that floating exchange to work. However, Nigeria would not accept this, and it could seemingly be bad for the economy, and devaluation just seems like an unfavorable strategy in every way. This brings us to today in September, less than a month before the e-Naira launch in October, and Nigeria has started to lay down some ground rules. But before we talk about that, who is even making this e-Naira? Did the CBN magically become so advanced in technology and the art of digital money making? Well, not really. There's a partner. So who is making the e-Naira? A company called Bit Incorporated or Bit Inc. in partnership with the central bank will be creating this digital currency, this e-Naira. Let's bring our favorite neighbors in, Ghana, which is also considering its own e-cedi. It's being built by a competitor of the guys building the ones for Nigeria. I'll leave a link below if you're interested in that. It's by a German securities printing company called G+D. The company building ours is from Barbados and they are Bit Inc. So who or what is Bit Inc. and why are they the ones building Nigeria's digital currency? So Bit Inc. is a fintech company based in Barbados that uses blockchain and distributed ledger technology to enable safe P2P transactions with seamless mobile money. Now, if all of that sounded like rubbish to you, basically their main objective is to develop payment systems for people, companies, banks, and central banks using their blockchain technology as well. The reason the CBN gave for this selection of Bit Inc. was that they were in fact selected from a highly competitive number of bidders. I believe the number of bidders were over 100. But they claim that they have chosen this company due to, tested and trusted or proven digital currency experience, which is already in circulation in several Eastern Caribbean countries. They also stated that they were chosen because they helped successfully launch the central bank digital currency for the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank in April of 2021. So they have in fact minted digital currency for a country before. One thing to note is that the company, Bit Inc., would have to register in Nigeria as a limited liability company. Basically, they have to register as a Nigerian business, and the central bank will in fact own a stake or a portion or shares in their Nigerian company. The CBN currently does own shares in some of the other companies managing our financial payment system, like NIBS, for instance, the Nigerian Interbank Settlement System. I think this helps so they can have a vote in how the currency for the Nigerian people is being managed. This could also be so one private company doesn't have the upper hand in determining the lives of our people. Anyway, if you're liking this video so far, a thumbs up would really be amazing, as it would help more people become aware of what we're sharing. And if you're learning from this, a like would be appreciated. So what is the e-Naira process like? How would it scale to many people? First things first, there will be different levels or tiers of wallets, and there will be launch stages. I'll talk about these two things in a bit, but first, how would this happen? Let's talk about stages. In stage 1, the CBN says it will be responsible for issuing, distribution, redemption, and the destruction of the e-Naira currency. In the second stage, we have the financial institution suite, where licensed financial institutions like banks will be able to request and issue stable coins. So yes, the e-Naira will have a stable rate and it will not be able to bear interest like cryptocurrencies. When comparing to something like the dollar, for instance, the e-Naira will equal the prevailing dollar rate at the time, and probably not the parallel market rates, but that's a far stretch when you consider the existence of P2P trading. The CBN says that at this second stage, these licensed financial institutions will also manage the digital currencies across branches. They will do the KYC or know your customer registration and AML or anti-money laundering compliance. So what does this mean for commercial banks? Well, commercial banks right now have a large number of products. I've been able to use many, and I've had a chance to use Vault. No, not an actual physical Vault, but Vault by Polaris Bank. It's a digital banking platform you can access via smartphones and other smart devices in this era of digital innovation with regards to banking in Nigeria. My first experience with the app was seeing that I do not need to have an account with the bank to get started. I can just select that I do not have an account, fill in a couple of details, and in a few minutes, voila, I already have an account. So what makes Vault stand out is that they of course let you carry out transactions, whether or not you're a Polaris Bank customer, helping you open a bank account without the need to physically go to a bank branch. But beyond that, they offer instant payday loans. Even if you're not an existing customer, you can also get 30 days free transfer after your initial Vault app download, plus 100% hourly airtime bonus on every 833rd transaction. And they did this because their USSD code is *833#. Pretty simple stuff. There's so much you can do with the USSD code, and I found out that you can even access travel allowance with the app, and you can get dollars if you want to travel. Just like I mentioned in my Finance Friday series a lot, Yeah, you can get dollars on here. The whole idea is the improvement of quality of life, making regular banking needs easy to satisfy, fast and reliable. Now do download the app with my link in the description. It's available on the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store for both Polaris and non-Polaris bank users. Of course, 5 people who download this app with my link in the description get 10,000 Naira each. All you need to do is comment below that you've downloaded the app and I'll select winners at random. Terms and conditions of course apply. Similarly, with an app like Vault, you do get to do a lot of these things that the e-Naira does. But now, with the e-Naira, it's more like the government's super app in a way, central bank. Anyway, so in the third stage, the Nigerian government will become more involved and will process digital payments sent and received from the citizens and businesses. At stage 4, we should expect merchants who are expected to provide low-cost payment and business management software, POS, online transactions and reconciliation. The 5th and last stage would be retail consumer suite, which is going to be focusing on the architecture, or basically how the digital currency is going to work and flow and tie together and work like a normal currency. So what about the wallets now? There are also different levels or tiers of wallets. Because the deadline is really close, it's less than a month, there will be an existence of what is called a speed wallet. These wallets are to enable the CBN meet their October 1st deadline. They say it's not in competition with existing banks, but another means of transaction, until the time where other banks can plug their digital wallets with their own infrastructure or technology. So what are the different wallet levels? The first tier allows users with no bank accounts to use the speed wallet. However, they must submit a passport, their name, place of birth, gender, and phone number. This first tier wallet will have a daily limit of 50,000 Naira for sending and receiving, and the minimum requirement for using a first tier wallet is a phone number, which will be validated, as your NIN, your national identity number. So if you haven't registered for your NIN, you probably might want to do so now. The second tier or tier 2 wallet requires that the users must own an account with an existing bank. At this level, they can send and receive 200,000 Naira daily with a cumulative balance daily of 500,000 Naira, aka the total transaction you can make in a day would be 500,000 Naira. Regardless of the medium. The minimum or lowest requirement is a BVN or a bank verification number for tier 2. Now at tier 3 or the third tier, it will allow for a daily send and receive transaction up to 1 million Naira with a cumulative balance daily of 5 million Naira, meaning you cannot go beyond 5 million Naira for anything else, apart from sending and receiving. The minimum requirement is the same as the second tier. That's your BVN. There's also the last tier, which isn't referred to as the fourth tier, but called the merchant level. It allows users to send and receive 1 million Naira. However, there is no limit to the amount of money that you can move, in your bank accounts. The minimum requirement here are, of course, the tier 2 and tier 3, which is the BVN. However, there will be more KYC that is linked to the anti-money laundering or AML and combating financing of terrorism or CFT. So what are the advantages of this? Let's start with the fact that it's going to be really fast with regards to payments. It's going to be very cheap as well, cheap for both the CBN and cheap for the users. For the CBN, they don't have to deal with the logistics of moving paper money up and down or printing money. It can actually get expensive with the ink and all that. They could cut costs by a third if they minted a third of the allocation as digital currencies. And for us, the users, it could be cheap or maybe even have no cost of transfers. I mean, some wallets like the first tier wallet up to the merchant wallet basically have no cost of transfers. Maybe in the beginning. However, experts have pointed out that the CBN hasn't clearly stated if there would be a charge between, existing bank accounts, which already have charges, charges you money to transfer, and your e-Naira wallet, which doesn't charge you. Does it mean that sending money from my normal bank account to an e-Naira wallet will get charged? However, if I'm sending money from my e-Naira wallet to my normal account, I won't get charged. All of these are still questions that haven't been answered yet. Nothing has been stated for now. Another advantage is the anti-money laundering or AML that will be baked directly into into the system because of the robust KYC, your customer level of with the BVN. We should be able to hit the ground running as fast as possible with all of these. Not everyone would participate, of course. I will for science purposes, but I'm sure it will not be out of the ordinary. It will surely be transparent, I hope. I hope it's transparent. So with regards to the concerns or sort of the disadvantages, and experts have stated, it's control. The director of the monetary policy in the CBN says that the CBN will have some control in the beginning. Remember when I said in the previous video about Nigeria launching their digital currency that the CBN might compete with commercial banks unknowingly, maybe, or have a centralized power that gives them authority to do and undo, with immediate effect. They also mentioned this in the third stage as well, as I explained earlier in this video. It could also phase out big players who have invested billions of dollars, in payment infrastructure, because now the CBN can even issue money directly. So why would they even need some of these guys? However, it might not be the case, as these companies might help with distribution, but still, if it catches on, there will definitely be a mass effect, and it could disrupt many big companies or some banks at in the worst case. The other thing is data protection. The information of tens of millions of Nigerians will be in the hands of the government and also shared by a private firm. However, the CBN has a stake, and they will definitely have deciding power over the sharing of these details. And with the obvious advancement of technology, I hope we don't get identities compromised or worse, stolen. I don't think that can happen. I hope it doesn't happen, because if the e-Naira catches on, it's a lot of centralized power in one place. There's a lot of power in one place that must not get compromised. One of the many reasons mentioned was also financial disintegration. Financial integration is simply the linkage of how close our economy is to the world's economy or economies of neighboring or regional countries. For us, it's how Nigeria measures up against our African countries, our African counterparts. According to one of the CBN directors, Nigeria is quite financially disintegrated. Financial integration is measured by capital inflows, stocks of assets and liabilities, interest rates, and how financially open an economy is. We are unfortunately not there yet, and the implementation of the e-Naira, if not done right, can probably widen this inequality gap, not just relatively, but it can also slow down the rate of getting more citizens financially included, which is the goal of this e-Naira anyway, because you have very, very little barriers to entry to getting the e-Naira. It can only even be done with your phone number, but you have a 50,000 naira limit. I also have my own personal concerns or concern. Please at least make the user interface beautiful, because if it is not anyway, well, that's all I have for now. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like this video if you found it useful or educative or informative in any way. Also leave a comment below letting me know your own thoughts about the e-Naira, and let me know if you have downloaded the Vault app. Winners will be credited into their Vault account when they download, and it's verified users only that will get them. All right, thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you guys in the very next video.